So chapter 11.01, the point size, I took a little detour and thought I'd explain all about the point size because layout uses it for its line thickness. It doesn't give it in millimeters, it gives it in points. And depending on where you are, there are different types of point system as well. Now, I don't carry this information around with me in my head. This is something I got from a rather useful website called unitarium.com. So the DIDOT or DIDOT system in Europe is slightly bigger. So point is 0.3759 as opposed to the UK and USA, which is 0.35. The PostScript size is around about the same sort of size of 0.3528, and that's what you would use for your desktop publishing system. So when you see this size in the text, points or 10 point is going to be 3.5 mil, thereabouts. Going way back to when people used pens and stencils, you would tend to use 3 pen widths, and those would be based upon the font height as well. So if you had a 0.35 pen, your stencil would give you a 3.5 mil high font. The 0.7 pen would give you a 7 mil high font, and the 0.5 would give you a 5 mil high font. So it was no accident that these sorts of sizes came about. And if you also go back and look at certain standards, codes of practice for text and lettering, then you would find that they would tend to push 3 pen widths, and each pen being twice the size of the previous nib size. So you'd start off with a 0.13, for example, then double that, which is 0.25 and thereabouts, and then 0.5 or 1/8, 0.35 and 0.7. And then these are all working with these. So if you want to compare the pen widths here, 0.13, 0.25 and 0.5, for example, in point form, then you were looking at around about 0.4 and then 0.7 and then 1.5. Alternatively, the 1/8, then you're looking at 0.5, 1 and 2. So for this sort of standard. You might want a much thinner pen, so I would go down to about a 0.2 point, which gives you a millimeter size of 0.07. So that's probably the thinnest I'd go. If you've got a nice LaserJet printer, then you can get some nice crisp lines out of these. Any lower than that and it starts to disappear onto the page, especially if you're using inkjet. So use this as a ready reckoner, and you don't have to follow, but I thought it would be useful to point out really what line thickness is you get from the various point sizes in layout.